Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to look at variables and constants. What are variables, what are constants, how are they used, and how useful they are to us. So variables are they are just memory locations, like a part of your RAM memory where you can just declare it so that you can use it to store a value which will keep on changing as the user places to change the value. Visual Basic have a highly typed variable. Like you see, some languages like JavaScript, you don't have to declare the data type of a variable to use it, but Visual Basic you have to declare the data type. For example, you cannot do a calculation on a string, so you have to declare a variable. What type of a variable is that? So a data type just declares the type of the data the variable is going to hold. Then all values entered in text boxes and labels, they are just strings. So before you use them in calculation, let's say you have a text box for quantity. Before you use that quantity, you have to convert it to an integer before you use it, since when it's entered in the text box is a string. But we'll cover that topic on conversions later. So to declare a variable in Visual Basic, you use the keyword dim. It's just a keyword which was created by Visual Basic. I don't know why, but it's just you use dim, then you declare the name of the variable, then you declare the type. So here we are going to look at how to declare variables. We will start with a string. A string is an it holds alphanumeric data. It holds alphabets and letters and punctuation characters and let's say numbers, let's say everything. It holds everything including white spaces. So an example is dim username as string. Username here is known as the identifier or the variable name. Then we have the integer variables. These are of integer data types. These they hold numeric data only, and there are no decimal places. For example, quantity, which can either be 1, 2, 3, 4, or the integer numbers, which you know. Then we have decimal. These they only hold numeric data, but they can include decimal places. So an example is a total. So you declare dim total as decimal. Then we have boolean, which are true or false values. They are either yes or no. They are either 1 or 0, or even we can also say they are either on or off. So an example is a state boolean variable. So this is where you can have a state, like either a state is on or it's off. So the other things are constants. We have seen that we have constants and variables. Constants, they are just variables, only that they are a static value, a value which does not change. So it's a variable which does not change once declared. So a value is assigned immediately when a constant is created. So you create a constant and assign a value there and there. So there are two types of constants. We have the intrinsic. These are the variables which are inside the system. Something like a color. That's a constant. I'm sorry, not variable. A constant which is inside the system. It was created by Visual Basic and it will be used as that way, will not be changed. So the other types are extrinsic. These are the ones which you can create. So examples of intrinsic are colors, border styles, such stuff, trends. Then an extrinsic constant, these are constants which you create. For example, let's say percentage rate, speed of light. You create that variable and store it so that you can use it. So then to declare a constant, you use a constant known as const, just CONST, to declare, not declare variables, I'm sorry, it's just to declare constants. Then here I show you an examples of constants. So extrinsic constants used for creating user constants. So you can see I've declared constant disk rate. This discount rate as decimal, where I've given it the value of 0.15. D stands for decimal there, not a big number, so there's been a big issue. Then I have constant maximum number, which is an integer, which I've given a value of 12. Then I can also have a constant, which is a string. For example, a company name in a system will not keep changing, or will only change once. So you can create such company name to be a constant, which will remain that, so that it can't be changed outside the namespace which you are expecting and then find weird things. So company name as a string, and I've given it a value. So as you can see, you give a value to a constant immediately when you create it. So then I have intrinsic constants. These are like color. I've declared one from color S, color, which I've given a value of blue. So that's how you declare intrinsic constant. Then we have naming rules. What are naming rules? Naming rules, these are things you must do while naming a variable. They are a must when you are naming a variable or constant. In short, when you are giving a variable name. So it can contain a letter, a letter, a number, or underscores. They must begin with a letter. You can't begin with a number. So they should not contain any variables or periods. I mean, not variables, I mean those are just those white spaces. So they should be a keyword. Okay, examples of keywords. See here, you have an example of keyword like name, print, value, me. You can remember me we are using to declare to mean the same, class to stand for a certain class, then my stands for a project. So a variable name should never be a keyword. For example, you can't use name as a variable name. So variables aren't case sensitive. Variables are not case sensitive. For example, sum with capital letters, then sum with small letters, or sum starting with capital letter, small letter, then sum starting with small letter m, are all the same when we refer to them as variable names. But in real sense, they should basically case sensitive. But variables are not case sensitive. Just put that in mind. Then the maximum length of a variable name is those number of characters. Actually, you can see a variable can be as long as you want it to be, but should not exceed that. But of course, you'll never even get to 383 characters. You won't even remember, my friend. Then there are naming conventions. After naming rules, rules are things you must do when naming a variable. But conventions, these are things you create, your own rules you create, so that you can be able to manipulate your variables faster. You can remember a variable as in for troubleshooting problems. That in short, that's the reason as to why we have conventions. Just like we had conventions in naming the forms controls. So here, for naming the variables, an identifier must be meaningful. So in case you are creating a variable to hold the name of a person, your variable should not be X or Y. It should be something like name. You see, something which has a meaning. So can be username or first name, last name. That's it. That should be the kind of the variable you are declaring, not just a X as string to stand for name. That's really awkward. Yeah. Then they should include the data type of the variable or constant name in the variable or constant name. Okay, what I mean here, while you are declaring a constant, let's say you want to declare a name and the name is string, so you have to just start with str name. That's enough. You have declared the data type before. So begin with a small letter, then capitalize the successive one's first letter. So let the first name be the name of the data type. In short, what I mean here, when you are declaring a variable, as we have said there in 2, you include the data type of the variable in the variable name. For example, I want to declare quantity. Quantity is an integer, so I will start with int quantity. This bin state a meaning binary I'm referring to a boolean value, but I just like naming them binaries. So binaries is cool for programmers more than boolean. Boolean is just normal English, but binaries, programmers think in binaries, names are in binaries, everything in binaries, even coins. We have binary coins like bitcoins, you see. So just cool for a programmer to call it bean state instead of boolean state. Or called boolean or bool bean state. Then use capital letters for constants and title case for variables. Those are just some conventions which I use. So you can create your own conventions the way you like them, the way you see you can easily remember your variables. So thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. YouTube channel is Seljoinac Softwares. Facebook page, you can like our page Seljoinac Softwares, and our website you can visit it. It's seljoinacsoftwares.weebly.com, or you can even blog with us, seljoinacsoftware.weebly.com/blog. Thank you.